Hi there, it's your Guelph Realtor, Krystal Lee Moore, and I wanted to talk to you about what to do if your information has been stolen. Bum, bum, bum. I know. Well, this is actually part of my newsletter that comes with my personal notes, and there is a copy of this on my website as well. So if you want information and you can't access it, just let me know and I'll make sure that you get it. But this is a hot topic, especially now since everything is online for us. So if your information is compromised, what do we do? The first thing is, what are we talking about with information breaches? So we'll hear a lot of the times, there was one a few years ago with Equifax in the US. Luckily, Equifax Canada was not affected. There was also one with CVS and Walmart. And basically, customers' emails and passwords and credit card information, all of this stuff was actually copied from a third-party server. And people were very, very vulnerable at that time. And I believe there's 2.1 million records. So that is all part of this handout here. But those were the records that were looked at and that were breached. So that's kind of scary, right? Because we trust these big corporations to keep our information safe. But what happens if something happens to them and it's not safe? What do we do? So one of the best ways to check to make sure that you are not a victim or that you are a victim is to look at your credit card statements. Is there anything that looks out of sorts? As an example, a few years back in 2016, I went on a trip to Asia to see my brother. It was great, but somehow when I was over the Atlantic coming back, over the Pacific coming back, my apologies, there was a bit of an issue. And the issue was that I was using my credit card at 3 or 4 grocery stores in Florida at the same time that I was in the plane. Impossible. So I called my credit card company and they asked me a series of questions because these were actually charges that if I was in Florida, I totally would have done. I would have gone to the grocery store and purchased $100 of stuff. No, not really a big deal. It's not that much if you think about how much groceries are, but it wasn't me. And so my credit card company was really good about shutting down the card and giving me the money back. How frustrating though, because thank goodness I got the money back, but I had a lot of different things that came out of that card, which meant that I had to go and change everything. And really, I mean, theft happens and identity fraud happens, and thank goodness we have these safeguards, but check the credit card statements, because if I had missed those few charges, they could have kept going and it could have been a much bigger problem. The other thing is to check out Equifax and TransUnion. So if you go to Equifax or TransUnion, you can actually order your credit report for free by mail. You can pay for it and get it online instantly. You can get your credit score as well. But if you want the report and you don't want to pay for it, just go file in the mail because it's not urgent. Maybe just for kicks, I guess. Find out, is everything the way it's supposed to be? And Equifax actually has, I believe, for Ontario and Manitoba, they have something where they can monitor suspicious activity, which is handy, which is actually really good. The other thing, so if your credit card or your information has been stolen, you want to make sure that you're changing things. So let's say your driver's license was stolen, contact the ministry. Let's say your bank account information has been stolen, talk to the bank, because then you just want to make sure that no one has access. Just shut it down right now. And that same thing with your credit card. Call the credit card company. Unfortunately, they have very, very good systems in place because this happens a lot. It happens so much, actually, that in the 2 years between January 2014 and January 2016, Canadians lost an estimated $290 million to fraud and scam. Eek, that's a lot. So monitor, and don't leave things. If you're throwing out a credit card, we are always told, cut it up. I sometimes go on MacGyver and I cut it up and I put part of it in one garbage can and I bring the other one to a different garbage can, like at work, because I plan to outsmart the thieves. And so things like that, just think ahead to how your information might be valuable to somebody, because for a long time I didn't think anyone cared about my information, but people care about all of our information because they can profit from it. So a lot of people don't report identity fraud, and it's because they're embarrassed. So fight the statistics and go ahead and report it, because they need to know if things are happening. And something that might be important. What if your child's information has been stolen? What is going on? Why would someone do that? Okay, so things that wouldn't ever come up until your child is 16, you want to make sure that they don't already have a credit report, because if someone has stolen their information and is using their name to get things falsely, then that could affect them later on. And if they do have a credit report, you need to write letters to all these places and say, hey, this is not accurate, fix it quickly, because you don't want your child to be affected adversely later. And then limit who has access to their information, because it's so easy nowadays to really get wrapped up in that cycle. So that's all for today. And if you have any questions, I'm so happy to help you about identity fraud, but mostly about the real estate market in Guelph and surrounding areas. And I would love to chat with you about how we can get your home sold or help you find the right home. Have a great day. I'm your Guelph Realtor, Krystal Lee Moore, and we'll talk to you soon.